Hey guys, it's Khalid from Fat Guy Skinny Wallet, and as promised, I'm here to talk about my views on weight loss surgery and weight loss surgery patients. You can click here, you can see my video talking about why I chose to not have weight loss surgery. I think you really need to watch that first before you watch this video. So click on the link and I'll sit and wait while you go watch that video. This one will pause and then you can come back and check this out. Alright, you're back, so that means that you watched the other video. So what are my views? The people, weight loss surgery patients. Let me just say this. My views on weight loss surgery was much more harsh before I came on YouTube. I know people who have had surgery, and I know what their life was like before surgery. I know what their life was like when they were considering surgery. I know the efforts that they put in. I don't know their heart, obviously, but I know what I saw, and I know what they told me. And I think in every case, I disagree with the person going to get surgery. I didn't think it was a good move for them, for various reasons. A lot of them failed. Some of them did not. Some of them succeeded and have lost weight and are in the process of losing weight, or in some has managed to keep the weight off. Many of them gained it back. So anyway, there's kind of a mixed bag there, but my views were more harsh about surgery before I came on YouTube and really got to see people who were determined. But I'm talking, so there are some people I talked about in my last video. I talked about people who, and these are some of the people who made me have a harsh view about weight loss surgery. They're the people who didn't try to get healthy, didn't focus on getting healthy, and they just figured that, you know what, I can live any way I live, and I'm going to have surgery in a month, so I'm going to live it up, then I'll go on my liquid diet, then I'll get the surgery, and then magically I'll be disciplined, and I'll eat well, and the weight will just fall off, because that's what happens to everybody who gets surgery. And the problem is they don't see what goes on behind the scenes. They don't see the hard work that people put in who have to lose massive amounts of weight. They don't see the things that I see now by watching videos on YouTube. What they see is someone has surgery and then they go into hiding and come out a year later and look like a different person, and they say, wow, that's for me. So I'm going to gorge myself for the next 6 months and get surgery, and then everything will be fine. And they never adopt a desire to have a healthy lifestyle, and they never focus on changing their mind in regards to food and in regard to healthy living. So they still allow food to have mastery and control over them. They still, and I'm talking about probably the majority of people who I know personally who have had weight loss surgery. They have, they allow themselves to believe this lie that weight loss surgery is the answer and it will just fix everything, and it's not. I mean, it's pointless to see a bunch of nails sticking out of the wall, sticking out of the wood, buy a brand new hammer, and then just leave it in the toolbox, or to let it get rusty and leave it out in the rain. It becomes worthless. And in the same way, by getting weight loss surgery, which people do as a tool, people who have a right mindset about it, to view it as one tool of many that they can use to try to lose weight. They see it as the only thing, and so they don't do anything with it. They don't want to change the foods that they eat. They don't want to cut back. They want to try to find ways around it. And when they can't, they get frustrated. And no, I don't have anyone in mind. I do have people in mind, but no one on YouTube. The reason why I say that is because I don't want someone to say, oh, he saw so-and-so's video and that's why he's saying this. I'm not. This really isn't. Right now, I'm not even thinking about YouTube too much. Now, I can think about YouTube some and say that I see people on YouTube like that too. I'm not going to, because I'm making a video for YouTube, I'm not going to pretend like everybody on YouTube who's had weight loss surgery is now disciplined and has changed their mind in regards to food and now works hard. But you know what? There are so many people out there who haven't had surgery and who go on Weight Watchers and they're serial weight losers and they don't have surgery. It's all about changing the mind. Whether you have surgery or not, whether you do Weight Watchers, whether you do Jenny Craig if she's still in business, whether you decide to do Insanity or any other of those Beachbody things, whether you do Body by Vi or anything else, or you decide to just do a bunch of juice fasts because you watch Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead. It doesn't matter what you do. If you don't change your mind, then you will not be able to have a healthy life. That begins in the mind. It begins with your desires. It begins with you being able to see why you do the things that you do. And if you don't make that change, no matter what you do, then you won't see results. The problem with the surgery is that the surgery is drastic. So you better be willing and ready to make that change before you do something like that. And so many people who weren't, they made me have a real harsh view about surgery and about people who choose weight loss surgery. And many people who've had weight loss surgery get defensive and they get very sensitive because a lot of people see it as the easy way out. You know what? That's because a lot of people who've had surgery see it as an easy way out. A lot of people who talk about wanting to have it, talk about it as if it's the easy way out. People, and I just saw a video about a sleeve singer. And she said one thing that was just remarkable, and it was after I made notes for my previous video. She said, you should have tried just about every weight loss program that's out there before you think about getting surgery. Surgery is something that is dramatic and something that should be reserved as a last resort. It's not just, hey, I'm fat, let me go get surgery to clean that up. You know, this is a woman who's had surgery and who lost, I believe she lost 104 pounds, and she lost about 85 of that after surgery. So this is somebody who has been very, very, very successful with using weight loss surgery as a tool. And if you watch her videos, you know that she works out and you know that she is doing this thing right. To where she didn't even have surgery, she could have because of how hard she's working. So she is using it as a tool to help guide her change in her relationship with food. So I have a lot more respect since coming on YouTube for people who have had weight loss surgery, because I get to see people who are working hard. I get to see people who are struggling and who are honest about their struggles and who come on and seek advice. I see people supporting each other. I see people who are just, I mean, it's amazing to see the people. And here's the great thing. I see people who've had surgery who support me, and I have not had surgery. I've had people mention me in videos as somebody who inspires them or motivates them, even though I haven't had surgery. And that, I mean, that really touches me, because it's not a segmented thing. They just see it as, you know what, Khalif is working out like crazy because he likes working out. He loves lifting weights and doing intense cardio. And you know what, he's eating pretty clean. You know, and he's trying to do it. He'll take it slowly and take his time, and I like that. And that's what people were saying, and that like really makes me feel great. And that really pushes me and motivates me that you have people who will make a video and say, Khalif pushed me to do this. And that, I mean, it's such an amazing thing, such an amazing feeling. So, and that shows me that there are so many people who have surgery and they see it as a tool. Just like the things that I do to try to manage my eating. And I'm going to keep using the word gluttony because that's what it is. You know, I go to the Word of God and see that it's sinful. Somebody else, what the Bible says about gluttony has no effect on them because they're not, you know, they're not a born again believer. And you know, if you're not, I don't expect you to have the Bible as one of the things that you use to keep you in line mentally, right? That only makes sense. So that's a tool in a sense. It's not, I mean, it's not a tool. It's something that guides me and guides my life, and the Holy Spirit in me guides me. But in a sense, it's one of the things that helps to govern what I do. Just like someone having surgery, now that restriction helps to govern how you eat and then ultimately how you think about food. And I understand that now. So being on YouTube has made me realize that there are a lot of people who have weight loss surgery are no different than people who have not had weight loss surgery. There are a lot of failures. There are a lot of duds. There are a lot of excuses. There are a lot of people who don't want to try. There are a lot of people who thought that they were going to do some program and the program would do all the work for them. And people who are looking for a quick fix to a lifelong problem. So what's the difference between that and all these fad diets out there? What's the difference between that and all these people who flood the gym January and February, and by the time the sun comes out, when the winter starts to end, you can't find them anymore until the next year when they have some more resolutions that they won't complete. There's no difference at all, except one person has surgery and the other one didn't. And what I found is that when you find a person with a determined spirit and they have the right attitude, it doesn't mean they're going to be perfect. It doesn't mean they will never binge. It doesn't mean they will never give in and have a weekend where they eat 20, 30,000 calories. But what it means is that, and this is talking about both, that they will push hard, they will push on, and the direction of their journey will take them to their goal. They're in the right direction. My pastor says this all the time. It's not about the perfection of your life. It's about the direction of your life. And they're moving in the right direction. And so, surgery or not, I love to see that. So you people who are watching this, if you had surgery, most of you know that I'm watching videos of people who had weight loss surgery, cheering them on, rooting them on, so happy to see them, being motivated by them. Come on, Heidi lost more weight. Dee Dee's journey. She's one of my favorites as well. Heidi lost more weight than what I weighed totally. She lost over 300 pounds. Are you telling me that's just because her stomach's a little smaller and she sat there and did nothing and she continued to eat the way that she ate but somehow magically surgery helped? No! She struggles all the time with food and she fights through those struggles. She struggles to think about going to the gym and she fights through them. Even if she couldn't afford to go and get a real hardcore gym membership, she went to the Y and applied for a scholarship. She's doing everything that she can to try to get fit. She's out walking early. She was walking in the dark until everybody yelled at her and told her to stop because it's not safe. But anyway, how can someone like that not motivate you? I don't care that a year ago she decided to have surgery. You think that matters now when I see her going hard? Or when I see her showing discipline with food? Do you think it matters what she did one day back in April? No, it doesn't matter. So my feelings have completely changed in that I realized that people, the duds that I know who've had surgery and who treat it like it was supposed to be the answer, are the same people who are the same mentality of people who treat Weight Watchers like it's supposed to be the answer. And don't get me started on Weight Watchers. That's another video, actually. What about my views on weight loss surgery? This is what I related to. For people who struggle with food addictions, people who struggle, I'm not talking about someone who gets sad and then says, I want to eat because that's, rather than go talk to somebody about it, I just want to eat. I'm talking about people who have food addictions, who just wake up and it's like, I got to have this food, and will rearrange their day to make sure they get that food and get a lot of it and feel like that they're in some uncontrollable binge where the only thing that matters to them is that food at that time. People who suffer with food addictions, I see weight loss surgery like going away to some type of camp or center, like when you're a drug addict. You go away somewhere for a month away from heroin, let's say, and you come out and hopefully you have the mindset, and then now physically they've cleaned you of that addiction, and then mentally, psychologically, they hopefully have cleansed you of that addiction, and you still have a counselor and things like that. So weight loss surgery is like a quick version of that, so to speak. It's like instant rehab, because there is no way you can go into a rehab center for food, because we all have to eat. There's no way you can avoid the places that you used to go and the people you used to be around, because you're going to be around people who are eating, probably eating poorly, more poor than you should be eating. And also, you're going to have to go around places that serve food. You have to eat. So if you're addicted to food, there is no just getting away from food. You have to eat food. So you have to change your mind about food completely. There's no way you can move to a better neighborhood that doesn't, have that food, because it's everywhere. So weight loss surgery is like instant rehab. You go into the hospital, you have something drastic done to you physically, and you come out and you don't have the ability to consume that food the way that you did. And in some cases, you don't have the ability to consume certain types of food because of the way that it will, interfere with the surgery that you've had. So that's what I look at it as. It's sort of like an instant rehabilitation center where you go in, and for the few days you're there, your body is changed so that it can't be dependent on that food in the same way. Some people, weight loss surgery is an act of final desperation, and it gives them a sense of hope. Honestly, it should be an act of final desperation for anyone who wants to do it. I don't want to see someone come to me and say, yeah, I tried working out. I went to a gym for 2 weeks. It didn't work. I'm having surgery. Don't come to me like that. But I think it does. It isn't, like I said, it's an act of desperation. And sometimes people who don't seem to have the will to push through and exercise discipline, they will do so. Once they've had the surgery, it feels like it's giving them a new spark. And I can think of a couple people in the weight loss community who, after they had their surgery, it gave them a real boost, a real spark. I'm not going to go and talk about the names of who they are. We may actually have them on Renew, so make sure you're watching Renew. But if I can say one thing about surgery, I already talked about why I wouldn't do it. It's that I wish that people were able to exercise the discipline necessary before ever having to do surgery. But you know what? I wish that we, all of us, were able to exercise the discipline necessary before going to the doctor and finding out that we're pre-diabetic or diabetic. We all know, that having so much sugar and ingesting, much more sugar than our body can handle or we need constantly, keeping our insulin levels just up constantly, not even a spike, it's just always high. It's going to create an insulin sensitivity, but yet we continue to eat the way we eat, and that's all of us. So I wish that we as humans didn't need something desperate to happen in order to give us a spark. I wish that we didn't, but sometimes we do, and for some people it's surgery. For some people it's seeing a loved one have a heart attack. For some people it's having a heart attack themselves. For some people it's just waking up and realizing that I can't do certain things, whatever it is. For some people it's realizing, hey, my libido is low. They almost called it limbido, because my country uncle calls it limbido. But anyway, my libido is low. So whatever it is, some people have to deal with. I can't fit through a doorway anymore. I have to walk in sideways. What's up with that? It's different things that kind of shock us. Yeah, if anybody watches King of Queens, you remember for Doug Heffernan was being called Fatty McButterpants, and then seeing that his wife shops at Big and Tall. But anyway, this video is going long enough, and I'm not going to bring up King of Queens any more than that. So that's all I'll say on that issue. Just to kind of clarify things, weight loss surgery people who are doing this right inspire me, just like people who did not have surgery inspire me. I still don't like surgery. I don't like the idea of having the surgery because it's surgery, and surgery can be dangerous. But so can eating 10,000 calories a day, right? So it's something that seems to have become a necessary evil, because I don't like surgery, so I'll call it evil, in our society. And there are a lot of people who have been successful and are still successful. They have been successful getting the weight off, and they've been successful keeping it off. And they are focused on living a healthy life, not just being skinny. And so those people, I love you and I applaud you. And you guys give me a lot of support and energy. And for the people who have not changed their minds, changed their mindsets, I pray that you do. Because if not, you can face some very severe consequences for trying to live the way you used to live and eat the way you used to eat after having surgery. But that's true for people who have not had surgery, because there's a lot of negative health consequences to eating poorly and not working out, living this sedentary lifestyle. So that's all I have to say on that. The next video is going